rest. The syntax for spread operator is like three dots. Exactly three dots. Not more than three, not less than three. Only exactly it should be three dots. Okay. So basically, I have an array. See, since we already discussed with the primitive versus reference, okay, how you can do the shallow copy, you know that, right? Object.assign. And in case of arrays, we're going to use a concat method, right? So this is one of the way we can able to do the shallow copy also. Okay, so I'll show that one. So const, I have an array, const countries. Well, already we have declared countries, right? So I'll take the same array. Okay, so this is the countries array. So inside this array, I have one more array, const new list. Okay, so const new list. So here Germany and Brazil. Okay, so there are two countries again. Okay, so here what I want to do, I want to take out all the elements. Okay, I want to take out all the elements and I want to spread inside. What do we call? So inside the new list. So how you gonna imagine these things? How you gonna understand these things? Like, okay, so whenever I use a spread operator, okay, for this countries, okay, the spread operator takes all the elements of an array. Okay, for example, how did I said in the earlier days? Okay, how you gonna imagine an array? Spread is not only works with array, it works with all the iterables. For example, objects, sets, maps, everywhere you can able to use the spread operator. So for the time being, we are seeing only results, examples in arrays and objects. Okay, so when I say array, it's a box or a container, right? Okay, so which contains 5 elements. Okay, so it's a pack of data array. They are each are the elements of an array. These are the individual elements of an array. So when I take this array, const array is equal to, when I take this array, when I use 1, 2, 3 array, okay, it will take all the elements of an array individually. So it will take out all the 5 elements individually. Likewise, it takes out all the elements and it's going to spread it. There becomes individual elements now. There becomes individual elements. Okay, so I have one more array. For example, array 2, which already contains, is an array 2. Okay, so which already contains 6 and 7. Okay, if I use 1, 2, 3 array, that means it takes out all the elements from the array and it is going to spread inside this array. Like this. You can imagine this. Okay, so basically array takes all the elements from an, so spread operator takes all the elements from an array and it's going to spread wherever you want it. Just 3 dots, right? Okay, I will show this with examples. Now I'll take the countries array, I'll spread inside the new list. Okay, so initially you can have a look of the new list. Right, so new list, this is we have only 2 arrays, so comma, so I'll use 1, 2, 3, exactly 3 dots, countries. What exactly does it? Takes all the elements individually, likewise, and it all these elements will be spread inside this one. Okay, so it's exactly like these things. It becomes a new array, right? See, the new list becomes Germany and Brazil. So the remaining the elements which are taken from the countries array. Understood? Okay. So if I do these things, okay. So you can do the spreading operator here itself only, or in the beginning also. In the beginning also, wherever you want, you can able to spread it. So in the beginning, if you do these things, what is the first element you're gonna see? India, China, Japan, France, and USA. Later, you're gonna see the Germany and Brazil. Or else you can spread it in between also. Anywhere it's possible. See Germany, after that India, China, Japan, France, USA. At last we have Brazil. Understood? Any doubts here? Right? So spread operator is going to work like this. So not only like these things, okay. So you can create a shallow copy of an array. So earlier days you were using object.assign for objects or concat method for array, right? So if you want to use it this spread operator, so you can usually it will create a shallow copy of an array. For example, see observe. Uh, now see observe const new list is equal to see observe. So countries. This is not the way we to handle the non-primitive types, right? So why? See observe. So new list as it's copied, but I'm trying to add an element to the new list, which will also affect the countries, right? New list dot push. Okay, Italy. I've just pushed the Italy for the new list only, which also affects the countries. Okay, Italy has been added to the new list, but look how about the countries? Countries also affected with the Italy, right? Because they both are pointing to the same memory location, the heap, right? That's the reason. So means you should not directly copy a non-primitive within variable. Okay, so rather than doing this thing, what I'm going to do, I'll take an empty array. Okay, empty array 1, 2, 3 countries. I'll spread it here. Okay, so if I spread it, if I push an Italy for the new list, it only affect the new list. It will never affect the countries. Country stays as it is. Understood? Okay, so this how you can do the shallow copy. Again, it's a shallow copy. Do not worry about it. It's not going to do a deep copy. Okay, it's only do the shallow copy. Understood? Okay, so it's one of the technique we're gonna use in real time also. So we're gonna use a empty array to spread the remaining elements of the countries and which will not gonna affect the other one, right? So this is how we can use spread operator. So we are just seen the spread operator in the arrays. So we're gonna work with the objects now. I'll take the same object. Okay, so we have an object. So earlier, how do you gonna copy an object? Shall I copy? We're gonna use an object.assign static method, right? So here const new obj. So 1, 2, 3 person. Okay, it takes out all the properties of the person and spread inside my new object, right? So now go and check the output of new object. Okay, the same output, right? So here, if you want, you can able to add additional properties also. So what are the additional properties? Mother. This, right? Right. So whenever you guys working with a React framework, so there is one technique called this going to pass in values. Okay, whenever calling the component is called props. Okay, on the time. So usually they're going to send as an object. So they're going to do the destructure at the top level only. Okay, at the top level only they're going to destructure using the syntax. Okay, so there we're going to use this maximum time, or else you can use in your applications also wherever you want it, everywhere. Understood? Any doubts here? Destructuring and spread operator, right? Okay. Next, we will learn about REST pattern or parameters. We will give the simple definition of spread operator. Spread operator takes all the elements from the array and adds into new array in any position. Right? So spread operator is going to work, and this how spread operator with objects. Okay, so not only arrays and objects. So today or tomorrow we're going to discuss about one more data structure called maps and sets. Okay, there also we can use the spread operator. Wherever you're going to find list of elements, everywhere the spread operator is going to work. Okay, next one we're going to discuss is REST pattern or parameters. REST pattern or parameters. REST pattern parameters. Okay, the syntax is also the same way. Same three dots. So if I use the three dots on the right side of the equals operator, it's a spread operator. The same REST pattern is if I use the three dots on the left side of the equals operator, it's a REST syntax. Okay. Now I'll take the same example from the countries. Okay. Now tell me, I want to extract India and China in a variable. How are you going to extract it? Index is the old way. Yesterday only discussed, right? This structure. Okay. So index, yeah, you can do this using index. You can do these things, no issue. Okay, but countries of 0, countries of 1. But better go for the modern syntax always, guys. Okay. So I'll take an A and B is equal to okay. Now what is the value of A and B? A and B is India and China. Right? So, but I have extracted these two elements. But I want to, how about this rest of the elements? Did I care about this rest of the elements? No. I have a plan to store the remaining unmapped variables, sorry, unmapped values. Okay. So inside an array, I have mapped India and China for A and B variables. Okay. So the remaining unmapped values from an array, from unmapped elements from an array, I want to collect it back. Means resting. I want to storing. I want to storing back. How do you gonna possible? So put 1, 2, 3. Okay. Others array. It's a variable. So rest syntax. Okay, go and check the output of the others. What are the unmapped elements, unmapped values from the array? Those will be stored inside the others variables as in another array. Understood? So remaining leftover, what are the leftover? I'm going to collect it back. See, be careful. You should use the rest syntax at the last of the destructuring. You should not do this thing. See, for example, you might think, okay, I want to store India in A, China in B. Okay, and I want to store Japan and France in others, and I want to store USA in C. It's not possible. It's not possible. Okay, so once you do this structure, so the rest syntax should be at last. So after the syntax, the JavaScript will never ever take any other variable. See, so over on it will also see the rest element must be last in the destructuring pattern. See, I'm doing the destructuring, right? The rest element must be at last in the destructuring pattern. It should not be at the middle or at the beginning also. It doesn't work. Understood? Right? So this is how it's going to work. Okay, the remaining Japan, France, and USA will be collected back, and they're going to store it in another what do we call it? Array. Come again? Yeah. You can give the holes, no issue. So see, India will be stored in A, China will be skipped, Japan will be stored in B, and France and US will be stored in others. Come again? You're skipping, you're right. It's not going to store it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, if we're skipping, it should be at last always. It only cares about last, rest of the people means what? See, I will choose I conduct a campus selection. Okay, so I will choose around 10 students. The rest of students you can go home. Means what? I will be sending home, right? That's it. Rest of the students means the remaining. Or whatever the 10 students are chosen, apart from these 10 students, the rest of the guys you can go. Means you can leave. That's what they're gonna say, right? Okay, the same thing. The name itself, see, all these patterns, the names, they're gonna use it is in real world name only. Okay, wherever we're gonna use, you can imagine. Okay, so rest means what? Remaining. Like, so it's easy to understand for you also. Fine. So this is how the spread operator and rest is going to work. But majorly, since you're planning to work with a React applications, I'll give one example. Okay. So where do we gonna? So in which position from a function, if I use rest is, if I use the an array, where are we gonna call it rest and where are we gonna call it spread? Okay. So I have an array, const numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an array. Okay. So I'll write a function to print the numbers. So I'm going to create a function declaration. Print numbers. Okay. So which will take list as a parameter. So I'll call this print numbers and I'll pass numbers. Okay. Now tell me what is the value of list? The entire array. Whatever the array I have passed, see this nums will be passed here and the list will be received here. Okay. This is a variable. So I'm passing the value. Right. So I'll write a for loop. I should be less than list dot length, right? And I should be incremented, right? Now here just print the value of list of 5. That's it, right? Okay, so if I use 3 dots, now tell me it's a rest or spread. If I use 3 dots in this position, what exactly is the meaning? It's a spread, right? Not rest. So I have taken out of all the elements of an array. See, it's in value position. Okay, so our arguments are values. Values are comes always at the right side or left side of the equals operator. Right side. If you use 3 dots at the right side, what does it mean? It's a spread, right? Okay, I have taken out of all the elements. Now, if I try to print, you're not going to get it because the list. What is the value of list now? 1. The value. What is the value of list now? Only 1, because I have Totally how many arguments I'm passing? 5 arguments. How many parameters I have? Only one parameter. Understood? Okay, see, this is really important. Being a perspective of React. Okay, see, in React, you're gonna see this syntax so many times. Okay, they're gonna put a 3 dots and they're gonna pass nums. What is this nums? Okay, you should imagine. Okay, so when I try to use an argument, arguments means value. Values always comes at the right side of the equals operator. You should imagine like this thing. Okay, always at the right side of the equals means if I use when I calling a function, if you use 3 dots means a spread operator. I have taken an array, I have spread it here. Okay, so next, so earlierly it was a complete one array. That's the reason list was an array. But this time, if we're using a spread operator, the list is one. You can, if you want, you can go and check it. What is the value of list? Only one. Because totally I am 5 arguments I am passing. I have only one parameter. The first argument will be received by the first parameter. The second, in the functions we discussed this one, right? The first one receives first, second will receive seconds. Now, so we don't have any second parameter. It's wasted. These 4 values will be wasted now. This only receives the only one, right? Okay, but I'm spreading here. I'm recollecting all these things here. 1, 2, 3. I'm recollecting all these 3 years. So if I use 3 dots at the parameter position, what it exactly means? I am collecting back and I'm creating an array as a list. Now you are logical. Okay, if I use 3 dots in the arguments position, it's an spread operator. If I use 3 dots on the parameter position, it's the syntax. Understood? No doubts, right? Come again? Uh-huh. This one. You'll get the same, whatever the thing, you're gonna see the same thing, right? You're gonna see the same thing, spread data, right? So this is how this spread operators and respector is going to work with the functions. Be careful in which position using it. Spread operator really matters a lot. It's an argument position or it's a parameter position. Understood? Fine. So it's almost we have finished with the modern syntax. Okay, so ES6 syntax. So next we're going to start working with the more modern than this one. The latest release in the JavaScript. Okay. So basically, in real time, so since we are learning, I'm creating an array from my end only. In real time, it's not like this. In real time, the data will come from some other source like the backends. So they give the data backend. Modern. So I can call this as an ES6 operators. They're introduced in the ES6, but whatever the thing we're going to discuss now, it's far more advanced than ES. Okay, ES6 operators. I'll change the name. Modern operators, I guess. Modern operators. Okay. So in the modern operators, we're gonna start working with the say they are completely new to the language. Okay, recently introduced. Okay, so we're gonna start working with the a concept called short circuiting. short circuiting. You know about what short circuiting? I've heard about this term. Short circuit. Where? Where? Current short circuiting, right? Yeah, we're going to do this current short circuiting, right? In our childhood, we have done these things a lot of times. Not on childhood, in nowadays also. If some water will flow in the sockets, it's also do short circuits, right? Okay, what is this short circuiting? What exactly this short circuiting? So before going to start working with the short circuiting, I want to know about the what are the falsy values available in JavaScript? Falsy, falsy values. 0, next, null, undefined, nan, next, empty string. Exactly. Okay. So whenever the JavaScript finds these 5 values, it will treat it as a Boolean equivalent of false. All are true, remaining all are true. Even empty array, empty object, all are true. They're not at a false. Even though it's empty, they're not at all false. Only empty string is false. Empty array, empty object, all are true. Okay, fine. So what is the main purpose of logical operators? We're going to learn about logical operators, right? And are not. We'll discuss these things in second class itself only. Operators in the second class only, right? So what is the main purpose of logical operators? Not check conditions. Okay. The main purpose, it is going to combine two Boolean values. Okay. For example, observe here. So I have a true and one is false. What is the output of this one? After this operator and this logical operators does, the output is false. Right? The output is false. Right? So this is the main purpose of the logical operators to combine two Boolean values and produce the result. That's it. Okay. Earlier days, we were using the what do we call logical operators to do this combining the Boolean values. But in modern syntax, we can do the more than this. We can do more than combine two Boolean values. Okay, where we gonna use this short circuiting? We'll discuss about R short circuiting. Okay, using R. Later we're going to discuss about the AND. So I'm going to write the truth table for R. A, B, A or B. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right? Okay. Now, okay, so I have an expression, JavaScript expression. So the expression always try to evaluate from the left to right. That's what we discussed. Okay, so no matter where it's the expression is always what do we call it? Evaluate from the left to right side of the page. Okay, so I have tried to evaluate an expression. I have encountered a falsy value. Falsy value, it could be 0, empty string, null, nan, undefined, okay, or whatever it could be. Okay, so I encountered a first falsy value. Okay, in R operator, so by seeing the only one value, can I able to decide the output? No, because if the next value becomes true, the output alters. Means if in our operation, if I encountered a first truthy value, sorry, first falsy value, I can't able to decide the output. Okay, I can't able to decide the output. Okay, so is it true or false? I definitely check the second value also. I check the first value. It's a falsy value. I can't able to decide. I check the second value. The second value is a also false value. Means there's no more other values here. So my pointer will stops here. Searching will be the evaluation will be stops here. Means the output is 0. Means I will decide the output is false. So which false? First 0 or second 0 I'm talking about? Second 0, because this is the last checked value. This is my last checked value, guys. Understood? Right? So this is the last checked value. I used to get this one. Next. Again, in the in JavaScript, I have an OR operation. I will try to evaluate from the left right. If I encounter a first falsy value, I can't able to decide the output. I will definitely check the second one. I'll check the, because by seeing the only one false value, I can't able to decide it. I'll check the second one also. The second one is true. My pointer stops here only. Whenever I encounter only one true, see in our operation, any one is true, output is true. If I encounter minimum one truthy value, I will stop it immediately. I will return the result. Okay, now what is the one value? So second is a, this is a pointer. This is a where my one pointer will stops here. This is the output. Next. So in our operation, if I encounter the first truthy value, do you want to check the second one? Not required. Because in according to our operation, if any one is true, output is true. Already encountered a one truthy value. What are you going to check the second one? The JavaScript will never ever check the second value. Immediately it's short circuiting the first truthy value whenever it's encountered. Okay, the first one, you're gonna see this. Understood? Again here also. So in JavaScript, again, I'm trying to use an expression from left to right. If I encountered a first truthy value, do you want to check the second one? Not required. Because in R, any one is true. I have already encountered a truthy value. It will never ever check the second truthy, false. It doesn't care. Okay, only the first one. This is the first one. The first one is the output. Here, the first one is also output. See, it's doing short circuiting. It is overriding the existence path and shortest path. Understood? So this how in our operation is going to work. Okay, let's see in examples. Short circuiting in our operation. Okay, so now tell me 2 or what is the output? What is the output? Any other answers? Online? Guys, it is never ever right true or false here. Okay, it only checks and it exactly does the values. That's what I'm keep on saying. Okay, so it is 2. So try to load from the left to right. Is 2 is a truthy value? Yes, it's a truthy value. When I encountered the first truthy value in our operation, so even hello is also truthy value. What are the false values? Empty string, 0, null, undefined. Okay, nan. Okay, these are the five false values. Apart from 5 false, all are true, right? So 2 is a truthy value. So in our operation, if any one is true, what is the point of checking the second one? My JavaScript returns only 2. It never returns true or false here. I'm not doing any Boolean operation here. It's a validation. We call it validation. I'll tell you where in real time where we're going to use these things. I'll tell you. Right? Next. Empty string. Zero. What is the output? 0. Right? See, I encountered a first false value. By seeing only one value, false value, I can't able to decide output. If the next value is true in our operation, output definitely alters. I'll take the second. This is the last value in my expression. This is also a false value. My pointer will stops at 0. You get a 0 as output. Okay, always try to load from left to right, always. Okay, next. Undefined, 0, empty string, 1, 2, null. What is the output? 1, 2. See, right? I have encountered a first false value. So in our operation, only seeing one false value, I can't able to decide. I check the second one also. It's also false value. No, I can't able to decide because still we have few more values. Okay, one more false value. No, I encountered finally a first truthy value. Whenever I encounter first truthy value, the second is false. I don't care because in our operation, if anyone is true, output is true. I still get well as an output. Understood? Right? Empty string, this one, right? This is an empty string. Empty string is a space, one space, that's it. There is nothing. You can't able to see the quotes. Okay, just one space, simple space. Understood? Okay, so this is how the short circuiting in R is going to work. Okay, where do we going to use this in real time? What is the purpose of this one? In real time, how we want to use these things, right? See, learning is not only learning theoretical part. Where exactly we're going to use it? Okay. So, for example, you're going to build an application like a, about carwallet.com. Have you ever visited any automobiles websites? If you want to buy a bike, where are you going to search which is the best bike? Bike wala, the same car wala. They'll product only the car wala. That's it. Okay. Car wala websites, autosmacksabot.com. A lot of websites are available. You can go and check it. You can see in the Google, you'll see a lot of websites. Okay. So in the same websites also, they're gonna sell the used ones also, second-hand vehicles. No, but used vehicles also. So if they want to use the used vehicle, so they have to mention the how many kilometers it's been ran, right? So who has been earlier owner. So how many kilometers it's been traveled in the car, right? So I'm going to create a. I'm going to take the such type of examples. Okay, const. I'll take see the basically for such websites the data coming from the backend. Const car is equal to, okay, so make is the manufacturer name Honda. Okay, next total kilometers ran by the car. Okay, so around 40. Okay, around 40. Now I want to print a message like what? So I'll do like these things. The distance traveled by the car is dollars. So I want to access kilometers here. How do you access kilometers from the car object? Car dot kms. See? The distance traveled by the car is 40 kilometers. Right? So this is the output I used to get it. Okay, because the data coming from the backend, I use this data, I will do these things. Sometimes the backend humans make mistakes. The backend doesn't means humans only they created the backend databases. So they forgot to add the details. They forgot to add the details. Now tell me what to do. So what is the expert output? The distance traveled by the car is undefined kilometers. Okay, if you guys open any website, if you see this type of sentence, what do you feel? Being a user without a developer, you felt difficult. You felt what exactly means undefined kilometers, right? So since I'm a developer, I know what is undefined. But if you ask your father or who has been not in a non-technical field, of course your father's in an engineering field, okay, they can know it. So who has been some doctors, okay, you can ask what is undefined kilometers, some kind of an yeah. So they thought difficult. Okay, means your application should be user friendly. If you throw error, it should be proper error. User should know what is the error. Okay, okay. So then, how do you avoid this type of things? Okay, in order to avoid olden days, we were using null check. Null check means what? First, I will check if the property exists or not. If the property exists, do it. Otherwise, don't do it. If car dot kilometers exist, then print. Otherwise, don't print. See, it will check the if condition. What is car dot kilometers? Undefined. Is undefined is a truth or false value? If the if block is false, does it executes? No. If the if block, so here now the kilometers exist, does exist. It will print the kilometers. Now this is how we are going to avoid the issue, right? Understood online? Okay. So before 2016, I was using in I was like you guys, 2016, the time I was like you guys, exactly. Okay, I was sitting like these things only in the classrooms. Okay, all the time I was seeing these things. Okay, every time I want to write if the condition, if the condition, if the condition, like this thing. So it's a really hectic for me. Okay, so if you I don't know how you imagine like these things. So the real time code base will be huge. You're gonna see around 3,000, 4,000 lines of code, right? Okay, so in the 4,000 lines of code, if you write everywhere if, it looks awkward, right? It looks awkward, and we can't able to work with these things. Okay, that's the reason what I'm going to do. Car dot kilometers. So rather than doing this thing, I'll do a short circuiting. If the car dot kilometers does exist, okay, so do on this one car dot kilometers. Now we can do like this thing, right? Car dot kilometers exist. Otherwise, you should use NA. Okay, so I'll take this in Control X. I'll do like this. So if the car dot kilometers exist, it will print the total number of kilometers. Otherwise, if it prints, the data is not available. Understood? Okay. So if it is not exist, the second statement will execute. If it is exist, so it's far more better than if syntax. Right? You need to check all these stuff. Okay. So this is how we can able to use this one. Car dot kilometers. Or else if you want to give some default value, you can able to, instead of any, you can put the default value also. Right? The next one, and so short circuiting in AND operation. We'll discuss about AND first. Later we come back to the AND operation. So we'll discuss about A and B. AND. So we have a two operands, A and B, right? So 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, right? So again, try to go from left, right always. So if I encountered a first false value, okay, in AND operation, anyone is false, output is false. Do you want to check the second one? It's not at all required. So I already encountered a falsy value. The next one is true or false. I don't care. It will never ever alter my output. My output is always stays false only. This one is not going to check. It is going to do the short circuit. The first encountered falsy value will be the output. Right? Here is also. So if I encountered a 0, of course the second one is true, but it doesn't make any difference in the output, right? Because I already encountered a false. And anyone is false, output is false, right? So you do the short circuit. So this is the first 0, the check 0. This is the one. But if I encountered a first truthy value, I can't able to decide. If the second value is false, output definitely changes. I will check the second value also. The second value is false, the output is false. This is the 0 I'm getting. Right? Again, if I encountered a first truthy value, I want to check the second one also. Because the second one is false, or output definitely changes. Of course, the second is also true. Output is true, but which one? First one or second one? The last check truthy value. This is the one. Understood? So this is how it is going to use. Right? Next. So let's see some examples. We'll comment these things. Now here, so 0 and what is the output? 0. Right? Next, 7. What is the output? Empty string. See, you see empty string like these things. Empty. Next, 7 and 5. What is the output? 7 and 5. Try to do it from left to right. See, it's an AND operation, not OR operation, guys. 5, right? So first I encountered truthy value. By seeing the first truthy value, I can't able to decide it, right? I want to check the second one also. Okay, of course, the second one is also true, but what is the last check truthy value? Right? Right? So try to learn from left to right. So here I'm going to use I 23 null Peter. What is the output? Any other answers? Try to learn from left to right. Take it easy. Take your own time. First truthy value. First truthy value. Okay. First truthy value. I'll check the second one also. Truthy value. If we encounter the first falsy value, what is the point? There's there's nothing to check, right? Because in AND opportunity, anyone is false, output is false. Output is null. Right? Output is null because if I encounter any one false value, the execution will be stopped at this position immediately. Because if the second one is true or false, I don't care. In AND operation, anyone is false, output is false, right? Okay, so this is going to stop and it's going to execute on the last false value here. Okay, next, I'll take the same example from there. Like what? In AND. Copy the same object. Okay, here I want to print the brand of the car. Okay, so I want to print the brand of the car. So how are you going to print it? So the I try to print like this things. The brand is dollars car dot make. Okay, so it's undefined. Okay, since the property does not exist, it shows undefined. Okay, so if it is exist, it prints the brand is Honda, right? So instead of doing these things, okay, I'll put a condition like this. I'll just doing a proper validation. Car dot make. If the car dot makes exist, okay, so do those things. See, car dot make is a truthy value. Honda, it's a truthy value. Okay, in AND operation, if anyone is true, I can't able to decide. I will check the second. This is also true. Okay, it's going to print the last truthy value. But if it is false, the car dot make means this is undefined now. If it is undefined, do you want to check the second one? No, I will short circuiting here. I will print the undefined as it. Understood? Right? Okay, so this is how it's going to work. Fine. But here I have a scenario. Okay, so I'll take the same example. The total car traveled by the kilometers is 0. 0 means it's a brand new car. I can consider it a brand new car. I want to do the same operation. Means I want to print the total kilometers traveled by car is 0. Okay. So what I'm going to do, car dot kilometers, and okay. So does it works or not? No, it doesn't works. So if it is more than 0, if it works. See, car dot kilometers does exist. The distance traveled by the car is 10 kilometers. Shows like if the car dot kilometers is 0, it doesn't works. As 0 is a real number. 0 is a real number. It should show 0 kilometers. But the JavaScript treats 0 as a false value. The reason will check error itself only. Since it's a false value, the second statement will never ever execute. Why code execution is stopped here only? Right? Then how are you going to fix this issue? Even though if the car dot kilometer doesn't exist, of course, the output is correct. Yes, does is exist, but it is 0. Even though it's a 0, I should consider as a truth value. Is it possible? No. Using this say AND operator, it's not possible. OR operator is also not possible. What? 0 kilometers. No. I'm talking about in this scenario it shows 0. Okay. So in this scenario, it should not show 0. Right? Okay. So there we're gonna use a new operator called nullish aliasing. Okay, so it's been introduced in the year 2020. Okay, so it's a new operator, nullish aliasing. The syntax is double question mark. Okay, the syntax is double question mark. So according to this operator, okay, so only null and undefined are false. 0, empty string, all are true. Understood? According to this operator, only empty string, null and undefined are false. Remaining all are true. 0 is also true. Empty string is also true. Okay. So, and nan is also true. Understood? So, there we're going to use this nullish aliasing operator. Okay. So, if you're confusing with these things, I can do like these things. Okay. I'll change this example. You might have confused here. I'll do like this. Let distance is equal to, okay, so if the car dot kilometers does exist, show the car dot, otherwise by default show 20. Okay, so now tell me, is it possible? What is the value of distance now? No, I want to show 0. If the car dot kilometers does not exist, undefined. Okay, fine. Okay, now I'll do the same operation here. So instead of question mark, I'll use the exclamation ampersand. I'm going to do question mark. Okay, right? So it's a nullish aliasing. So if you want to overwrite 0 and null, so 0 and empty string as a truthy value, okay, you can use nullish aliasing. It's a modern syntax. Okay. Next, the last operator we're going to use is the most useful operator when you're working with a really huge code base. Okay, the operator is called optional chaining. Optional chaining. Question mark dot. Syntaxes. Okay. So before going to discuss with the optional chaining, I want to discuss a real-time scenario. Where do we going to use this things first? Later we're going to implement it because this is the most useful operator. Have you ever opened any hotel website? Hotel details. Hotel details. Hotels. Where we're going to eat, right? Yeah. So the hotel details. Have you ever opened any Google? Ever made any Google search regarding hotels? Okay. So whenever you do the Google search, what are you going to see? So you want to look for an, you want to eat biryani. Okay, what is the best biryani in city? Megana. Yeah, Megana. Next, some other hotel which is not open all the day of the week, only few days in a week. No other idea? Hoskote biryani. They're gonna open in Monday, sorry, Sunday. Have you ever heard about Hoskote biryani? No. So in the you should, if you want to get the biryani, you should be woke up in the early morning 1 o'clock. You should go and you have to wait for almost 3 hours to get the biryani. And if you go at 5 o'clock, the queue will be around 500 meters to 600 meters. That's much of queue. You don't know this one, right? It's a famous biryani, Anandam biryani. Okay, well, actually, one day was my birthday. My friend asked me to, so what do you need to treat? He said, we'll go for Vaskote biryani. Okay, I said, okay, I will go. So I went there and see the queue. I got shocked. It's almost 1 kilometer distance of the queue to get the biryani itself only. I thought I came for some, what do we call it? No, Tirupati, like, so the queue, I got suddenly shocked. Really, we need to eat biryani in this queue, na? So that's it. Okay. So usually, it's not like this thing. Okay, I'll use Shivaji Dum Biryani. Shivaji Military Hotel. Yeah, this is a famous eatery also. So whenever you search for this one, you're gonna see right side in the Google, you're gonna see. So in each day of the week, when do they gonna open and when do they gonna close the details? Okay. See, where is it? Should get right. When do have they changed that implementation? Shivaji. Yeah, here it's. See, when I open this one, see Saturday, when does this opens? It's not the 24 hours. Some mistakes has been occurred. Actually, Saturday, they're gonna not gonna open on Monday. Some other hotels is open on. Yes, this is the required. See, observe. Saturday, it's closed. Sunday, it opens from the 5:30 to 9:30 a.m. Okay. In Diwali, they're not going to open. Monday, they're not going to open. Tuesday, they're going to open. Wednesday, they're not going to open. See, how they implemented this in Google. I'm going to do the same implementation. Okay. I'll take a real-time object of a restaurant and I'm going to use this. I'm going to build this functionality. Whenever user clicks on this drop down, or if you wants to, sorry, if you, whenever user wants to know when does in a week, when does this, what do we call, um, hotel opens and when does it close? The opening and closing time, we're going to write the same logic for another hotel, right? Okay. So optional chaining. I'll take an object const restaurant const restaurant is equal to. So I'll get the name of the restaurant. What is the name? So I'll do coffee day. Coffee day. right? Next, the second object is opening hours. Opening hours. Okay, see the real time data will be same complex one. Okay, opening hours here. I'll use Thursday. Thursday, when does it is going to open? Open. I'm going to use a 24-hour format, so it opens at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock means afternoon, and it's close at 22. 22 means night 11 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. 22. 10 o'clock. Okay, copy this one. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Only 3 days of a week. Friday is going to open at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it closes at 11 o'clock in the evening. Total 12 hours. Since Saturday is a weekend, people used to always spend a lot of time outside. Okay, it's opening at midnight 12 o'clock and closes at midnight 12 o'clock. All the at 24. Right? So this is the data I'm getting from the backend. Okay, using this data, I want to construct this table in the console window. For the time being, we're going to print it in the console window. If you want, you can add it in a DOM if you want it. Okay, how do you going to create this data? So in dates class, I've written a one logic. So how to know the dates? So create a dates array, right? So see, observe. They're gonna use a Sunday, Monday like this. I'm gonna use a SUNMON like this. The format. Okay, I'll take an array const days is equal to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So these are the 7 days of a week, right? Rather than doing these things, I'll do like this thing. Sorry, guys. Or else I'll change the key name here only. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, uppercase, that's it. Okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. Now, I will tell you one more issue with the JavaScript. Okay. So here observe code execution. Okay. You want to see code execution. Now I'll try to access a property from this object. Okay. Now tell me how to access Thursday details. I want to access the 30 details, open hours. Restaurant dot opening hours dot Thursday, right? So it should be like these things. Restaurant dot opening hours dot Thursday dot open. Get it well. Okay. So I'm looking for a Monday. So now tell me, it's an error. So if you get an undefined, until this point, it's undefined. Undefined. So the remaining code execution will never ever block. The JavaScript always continue the next code execution. But if an encountered an error, it will block the remaining code execution. The JavaScript stops the execution itself. What is the issue? See, restaurant exists. Opening hours also exist. Monday, inside the opening hours, we don't have Monday. Monday is undefined. Inside the undefined, I'm looking for open property. Does it exist? No, it throws type error. It's a type error. Okay, once it throw type errors, So we can't able to continue with the remaining code execution. The JavaScript stops the entire execution at this point. Okay, this is the issue with the JavaScript. We want to avoid these things. How are you going to avoid these things? You can use, just now we discussed, right? We can use short circuiting. I'll put an and. If Monday exists, go and look for the open property. If the Monday doesn't exist, do not look it. See, undefined. So Thursday, you can able to also Thursday, right? Thursday, you can open. So this is a one way to handle this scenario. Okay, so you need to check before the property exists. So if the property does exist, then only do the next properties value access. Otherwise, don't do this. Okay, so this is an old way again. According to optional, this is an old way. So then how are you going to fix this issue using optional chaining? Using optional chaining, you don't need to write this much of syntax. It's simple. So restaurant dot opening hours. Okay, I'll put a question mark dot. It's called optional chaining. So inside the opening hours, look for Monday. If the Monday does exist, then look for, if the Monday does exist, look for open. So it returns undefined. See, so which one is easier syntax, the first one or second one? Second one. See how easy it is, right? No need to write the null check, don't write the if block also, don't write this and operators again, right? See, restaurant dot opening hours question mark. Okay, so question means, so if the Monday exists, then look for it. The Monday does not exist, it returns here itself only, it returns undefined. If it is Monday exists, look for open property. If it is exist, otherwise stop looking for it. Understood? So this is an optional chaining here. Understood? Any doubts here? No? Okay, fine then. So this is how optional chaining is going to work. Okay, so now we're going to work with this table. I'll use the same syntax everywhere. So I'll write a for loop because I want to iterate over all the elements of an array, all the 7 days of a week. Let I is equal to 0. I should be less than what? Days dot length, and I should be incremented, right? I should be incremented. Now we're gonna work like these things. So a restaurant dot, I'll print like this thing. Const starting time. Okay. So how do you access restaurant dot opening hours? Okay. So now I want to access the first element of an array. How do you access it? Dot. There is dot. I'm getting the key dynamically. Do not use dot notation. Use bracket notation. Understood? So days of I. Do not use dot notation, guys, because I'm getting a key as a string from other source. Okay. So opening hours dot string key. Can I write it? No. Opening hours dot can I write a string? No. The data, the key is coming from the array. That's what I'm using. Use bracket notation. Do not use dot notation. Okay. So days of I. Okay. The days of I does the days of I. So opening hours, days of I, undefined, right? So if it is not exist, otherwise just open, right? Understood? Okay. Let's save it. Now I'll try to print like this thing. on dollars days of I B we open at dollars start, right? When I save it, see on Sunday we open at undefined. We'll fix these things. Okay. On Monday up to Wednesday it's undefined, but see, for last 3 days are good. We are good, right? So on Thursday we open at 12 o'clock, and Friday we open at 11 o'clock, and Saturday we open at 0, right? But 0. I want to fix these things. I want to fix these things like what? So if it is not available, so we should print like a closed. See, on Sunday we open at closed. Again, this is a mistake. Okay, do not worry about it. So we'll fix these things again. Okay, we open at closed. But anyhow, we will fix the undefined issue. We fix the undefined issue. So we are closed. So 12, 11, and 0. So we open at 12 o'clock, Friday at 11 o'clock, Saturday at 0. Okay. So I want to print a new syntax here again. Like what? So I'll remove this thing. I'll cut it. I'll put an if block. If start available, print this one as so on we are closed. On Sunday we are closed. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we are closed, right? Again, so open means undefined. So Saturday also we are closed. It's coming like a Saturday also we are closed because it's a 0. Okay, we should consider 0 as an truthy value, right? So can you fix this things issue? So task for you. Okay, so it should show we are open. So we are open, we open at 0. Show this. Can you fix this issue? Okay, so this how the short circuiting is going to, the optional chaining is going to work. Understood? So they are all modern syntax. So we're gonna work with this syntax maximum time in real time always. Okay, so it's up to your logic how you want to write it. Okay, so this is the use case. Okay, so this optional chaining looks, if the property exists inside an object, go and look it. Otherwise, yes, you can skip it. Okay, okay, that's it. Stop recording.